I'm Tyler.
I'm Shorty.
I'm Myles.
I'm Kara.
And we are the Inner Idiot.
The following podcast has strong language, violence, and other things you probably shouldn't let your children listen to. Please enjoy. Hey, Ty, if you wanted to make a podcast, how would you do it?
Spotify Podcasters app, of course. Or hell, even the website.
Do they have any way you can edit audio and help with organizing your episodes?
All that and more. You can reach out to listeners and have feedback with their Q&A feature, and it distributes it to all other major places you listen to podcasts.
I just looked, and they got a video podcast set up and editing tools here, too.
So all you got to do is sign up at SpotifyForPodcasters.com or get the app, and you're done.
Damn, it's just that easy.
What's it doing? Oh, my God, what's it doing? Are we recording?
Yes.
Oh, man, stop what you're doing. Swallow what you're chewing. Put your ugly kids to bed. Set the deuce loose. And do so fearlessly, because nobody likes to poop when they're scared. That's right.
I just clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, you know, buttons and stuff. Welcome to Inner Idiot Podcast. I am your host, the big, the bald, the beautiful, the brash, and the oftentimes bastardly. I look smart today, people.
He's wearing glasses, Rosemary.
I'm
Calm
your
down.
host, MC Tyler Havlin, and that's right, I got the glasses on today. You know, trying to look a little less like an idiot sometimes. But you hear him laughing. He is the Lord that's never bored, the commander of the comic book. He's been pegging kitty and grabbing titty since December 11th, 2020. Dumb. Shorty fresh in the flesh. 2 claps and Ric Flair for Lord Shorty Hoffman. Woo! We really missed your woo last episode, Myles.
Tried my best in chat.
Kara just could not deliver.
She couldn't, and she just won't.
She
I don't know why.
refused to deliver. She would refuse.
One day.
Terrible child. I'm going to beat her up.
Rosemary says I'm trying to be a sexy librarian.
I think to be a
Don't-
librarian, you have to be able to read.
I can read. I write notes every episode. I have
Just assume
notes.
you scribble everything down and remember.
I'm surprised it's not written in crayon.
Yeah, you know, it's pinned. That means I can't mess up too much. Oh, well, you hear him burning me. He is our residential doctor. He's a Jedi in the streets and a Sith in the sheets. Look at that. I get it right every time now, just for you. If you got a pap, he will smear it. 2 claps and Ric Flair for Dr. Myles Sham. Woo! How you do today, Myles?
Doing pretty good. Doing all right.
All right. So before we get into today's top 5, I got a few things I want to go over. We're going to do a giveaway this episode. So,
Hi, Michaela. Hi, Becky.
yeah. Hello, Becky. Hello. Who else is on there?
Michaela.
Michaela and Amanda.
Tyler Havlin.
Of course I'm in
3
it.
other people are watching.
All right, so we are going to do a giveaway
It's
in this episode. It'll be in the second segment, and you're going to listen for a specific phrase. When I tell you that phrase,
Why wouldn't you just say that now?
because this isn't live. So, you
But if
have
they
to,
listen to the whole episode, they'll listen to this segment and then the second one.
right.
That way there's more time in between.
Don't worry. This will work out. I promise. I will tell you what that phrase is. Facebook, first person that posts that phrase on the fan page will receive something from the merch store of your choice. Instagram, same with you. You hit us up, say, hey, this is the phrase. I will send you something from the merch store. The same with Twitter. So there's going to be 3 giveaways, 1 for each platform. You cannot win on all 3 platforms. You can only win on 1 platform.
Fuck you, I'm going to do it.
You can't win anyways. You're disqualified for winning. I'm getting you something later today.
This is bullshit.
Don't worry.
I'm not a winner.
So at the end of the last episode, off air, Shorty posed a question. what is there more of in the world, eyes or legs? And this really bothered me because I was team legs right from jump, right? But then he's like, what about fish? What about snakes? What about centipedes?
Centipedes and millipedes.
Sure.
Those are going to knock out a lot of
Legs
stuff.
are shot.
What about flies that have thousands of eyes?
They don't have thousands. They have a lot.
Hundreds, then. There's a lot of goddamn flies.
There's a lot of millipedes and shit.
I see way more flies than I do millipedes.
There's a lot of tables with legs.
What?
Tables have legs.
What about eyes of cameras, then?
All right. Well, anyways.
Those are called lenses.
Okay, eye of a needle.
All right. Well, I took
Eye
this.
of the storms.
God, I hate you both. I took the poll to Twitter, and Twitter is perfectly split right down the middle.
I believe it.
50% eyes, 50% legs. All right.
I'm gonna settle with eyes. I don't care how you split it.
So Josh says we can't hear the doc,
Oh no.
and that's because his mic is all the way down, people.
fuck, Kara screwed us up.
There we go. Now you should be able to hear the doc.
Is that better, everybody? Can we hear me?
They can hear you now.
Yeah, they can hear him.
That's all right. So if you're listening on Spotify or Apple or whatever, like the doc is in the house.
Do I need to go back and make my jokes on you again?
No, that works out perfectly. You didn't hear him burn my soul. It's just a moment of silence, and then you hear me. You hear my soul dying.
Josh.
Maybe that was on purpose. Who knows? All right, so I'll say
You're not that smart. Listen, the glasses aren't actually adding intelligence.
I know, dude. It's +1 to wisdom. Okay.
That's still not intelligence.
Yeah.
All right. So the other poll. Shout out to Kara. She's not here today. She brought up a great question at the end of episode 100, and it's socks or no socks while having sex.
There's only one type of socks allowed.
So, again, it was a very split thing, so I took it to Twitter and created a poll, team socks or team no socks. And you guys will be happy to know that team socks got 31%.
Good.
And team no socks got 69%.
And hopefully, like 30 of that 31% says like only thigh-high socks.
Oh, I don't know. There was 31.
Like-
There were some people that were really upset that Team No Socks was winning. There is a whole company that is dedicated.
Josh says there's a study that says socks while doing the dirty help get
to climax. It
help climax.
Yeah,
what
it
I
helps
said.
circulation.
You put the thigh highs on them.
I don't know.
They
I call some
quicker.
bullshit.
But anyways, there's a whole company dedicated to making socks for sex, and they're called clap cleats.
What?
Yes, I will.
You're
send,
fucking
nope,
with me.
I'm going to send you guys the link
Bullshit.
on break. It's a real thing. You can't turn around. I need your mouth. We need to be. That sounded so horrible. But yeah, they're called.
all the way around now. Fuck you, bud.
Sound clip, please. I want my phone to go off and say, I need your mouth.
But yeah, so there's a whole company called Clap Cleats, and
Jesus.
see, he just looked it up.
Toe socks, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
10% off today's order. The fuck out of here. Continue, Tyler.
But Clap Cleats, if you would like to sponsor the show, you know I am Team Socks all the way. My co-host, maybe we can convert them.
The Valentine's Day Red Edition. Get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Idiots.
So that's the big thing. Remember, listen for the phrase in the second segment. And we're going to jump right into the top 5. Miles, you got your top 5 ready now that the people can hear you?
Got my top 5 ready.
All right.
Jesus.
So
Kick us off.
It was top 5 things that we think are just made to be annoying.
Yes, to
Okay.
annoy you.
I did some general ones. My number 5 is kids. I love my kids. I enjoy most other people's kids. But I'm pretty sure they were here to get some like retribution for our parents, so they annoy us. You know, that's what they always tell me. Like, your kids are going to do twice to what you did to your parents. And I'm like, oh no, double sadness.
I was a good child, so I don't know.
I would like to think I was a good child. I know I had my moments, but
Sure.
Except taking overnighters to a church and sleeping in a van.
Mom and dad's, like, they were out of town. It was okay. If I go out of town and my teenager wants to go sleep in a church van, fucking go for it, bud.
I mean, but think about it. Like, if all the places to just like, hey, let's run off for the night. Like, you ran off to a church.
We planned on going to church the next morning, so why not sleep right next to the place that we planned on going?
That's efficiency.
It's efficiency.
Motherfucker.
Number 4 is boys/girls. For us it would be girls. For girls it would probably be boys. There's always something. They're always nitpicking at each other, relationships, this, that, and the other. But like, you kind of want the other one around.
Yeah, true story.
Number 3 is the plastic piece holding toys in. Like when you buy something,
Bro.
It's like fucking Fort Knox and a half. You gotta get in there with scalpels and a fucking little lens. Make sure you get all these pieces off so you can get your damn Barbie out.
This is how annoying that is, that I forgot they even existed. Like, I erased them from my memory banks because I've probably spent so much time in my life just trying to pry them motherfuckers out.
Yeah, I eventually get time to just grab it by the leg and rip and hope for the best.
You gotta twist it. Just give it the good old twist.
Number 2 is overdraft fees.
You ain't fucking kidding.
Oh no, you ran out of money. Let me punish you by making you have less money.
Right.
Beautiful idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Number 1 is seams on socks. Like right across the top of your toes or right by the edge of your big toe and little toe. Fucking hate them.
I feel you.
I'm pretty sure whoever made socks was like, let's get all of these fuckers.
You know what's worse is when it gets in between your little toe and your ring toe, and it's just there, and you're like wearing work boots, and you can't just easily, move your shit around.
Is that how you determine ring toe? Is there an actual toe that's a ring?
No, I'm
toe.
going by like hand. If my fingers were toes,
Shorty just got really fucking confused. You said ring toe. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
burnt toast.
Very confused for a moment.
That's my top 5.
All right. Hey, I didn't make your top 5. Thank you.
I mean, I figured that was a given.
Yeah, you're the honorable mention on everybody's list.
Yeah, when I announced this list on the chat, everybody said number 1, Tyler. Thank you.
Very quick. It was within seconds.
Instantly.
Oh God, let's see. For me at least, not having the right tools at the ready whenever I go to start a project. If I go to do something and I'm like, all right, I have all the material that I need, and then I go to do it and I'm missing a tool, I go ballistic.
Well, that just means you're annoying yourself. You didn't bring the tool.
I'm well aware of what it's doing, but that's what is annoying. I should have the right tool, but I don't.
But I don't. Okay. All right. Next time, bring the right goddamn tool.
Shut the fuck up. Number 4 through 1, Tyler. Number 1 is like, or
We
not
just
number 1.
skipped a
Wow,
lot.
dude, I'm fucking sleepy. Number 4 is holes in socks,
Oh yeah.
and like you don't notice it when you put them on, and then you start walking, or you're at work or whatever. That's the worst. Is when you can't go back home and just get more socks. You're at work and you're doing shit. Fuck.
Yeah. That is horrible. But it wasn't, holes in socks wasn't made. Like,
They are made,
by you.
right?
But it's still annoying.
I guess, yeah, that tracks. Okay.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I leave these top 5s open for interpretation. Who am I? Why am I trying to police them? You're right. My
Shut
bad.
the fuck up. You go AWOL all the time.
This is true. This is true.
Rosemary's right, siblings.
Yeah.
I wasn't that annoying. Well, I was. I know exactly what I did to annoy my sister. Number 3 is wait lists for statues. I've been waiting years for some of them, and I'm getting sick and tired of it.
Which one have you been waiting the longest on?
Currently,
Because I know it was Mira, right?
Mira was the longest, because I ordered her back in 2018, and it took her 4 years to get here.
Sure.
Currently, the longest I've waited for one is probably Kane from the Legacy of Kane series. and I ordered him in the end of 2020. So
2 years. Almost.
eventually he'll show the fuck up, and I'll be so excited.
Yeah.
And fucking Cloud, every fucking he was due out like the beginning of this year, and fucking
They traded him for twerking Tifa.
bro, that's not part of the same series. We went over this.
Still
Twerking
funny.
Tifa?
Still funny.
It's so fucking stupid. I'm so
Is this a
annoyed.
real statue, Twerking
Yes.
Tifa?
Yeah, and you
Okay.
have the option to buy her with clothes or without. And ironically, without clothes is more expensive.
Well, of course.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You gotta paint all the fucking clothes and shit. All you gotta do is paint her body one fucking color except for 2 little dots.
Yeah, that's been a
That's
thing.
fucking annoying. That's number 2. Fuck. That is a problem with fucking like a lot of like female figure statues is they all are super lewd. I'm like, man, like I get it, you're hot, but stop it. Look around, look at all these lewd women. Sorry, ladies.
Your bombshells aren't lewd.
Some of them are. Harley Quinn's pretty bad. Poison Ivy is straight up lewd. But the rest of them, nah, not too bad. If you ask my mom, they're all fucking terrible. Bunch of harlots. Oh, God. Number 2, gas prices.
Yeah.
Gas prices annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah, they're so awful. I don't see, like, I've not even been looking at gas prices when I fill up. I just fill up my tank. The other day I stopped to fill up and I actually looked at the gas price and I thought to myself, wow, it's time to get a bicycle. But then I realized, like, that's a lot of work that I'm not willing to put in. Like, maybe a moped, but then it'd have to be a really big moped and then it'd probably eat up just as much gas.
Nah.
I'm a big man. I'd need a
Get
big
a motorcycle.
moped.
Plus kids.
Them motherfuckers can walk.
Shit. Gross.
Damn.
Let's see. Number 1. Fuck. I don't know.
Yeah,
My
that's-
sleep.
That's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, sleep.
Sleep.
Yep. I figured sleep would be on your list.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let me jump into mine. Honorable mention has got to be Austin St. John. That man was brought into
Knew
this
it.
world to goddamn annoy me. He didn't make it into the top 5, but you know what? He's there. He's lurking. He's behind every fucking corner. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm here to annoy you. Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. So Austin St. John, honorable mention. Number 5 is razors. Okay? So, like, I have to shave a lot. Right? They put these fucking razors on these cartridges so close together that this is a lot of shaving I gotta do. And the hair just gets in there and you can't rinse the shit out. It does not want to come out. So I gotta fucking...
Do you not know how to use a razor properly?
Yeah, I know how to use a razor. You know how much I shave? I shave a lot.
Yeah, then I think you will figure out how to get the hair out of there by now.
How do you get it out?
Okay, so when you pull the razor back like so,
Uh-huh.
before you take it off to rinse it, you push back forward a little bit and all the hair will drag back out on your head. Then you
What?
can rinse out the little bit that's stuck in the razor and wipe off your head.
Holy hell. Wow, where was this information been at all my
I don't
life?
even shave, and I know that.
All right, well, cool. Well,
Cool.
razors is
I'll-
on the
I'll
list.
save you even more time. Get a fucking straight razor. It's
dude,
so much better.
ADHD and Tourette's, man.
You'll be fine.
Oh, I don't know. I'll try it, but all right, here we go. Number 4 is the government. Now, obviously, I don't know a lot about government. I don't talk a lot about government, and that's because me talking about government is like Stevie Wonder giving fucking driving lessons, right? I don't know enough.
They got
But
Braille on drive-up ATMs.
I know that's, well, I mean, you got a passenger in the car that's blind, you know. They get out, walk around, get their cane out, tap, 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 tap.
Have you ever seen that?
What?
Have you ever seen that?
The Braille?
Have you ever seen a blind person get out of the passenger seat of a car, walk up to a drive-up ATM? Why not pull up to the front of the bank where there is a standing ATM and go do that?
I've never seen it, but you know who else has never seen it? It was there. All right, yeah, so the government, like, I don't care who's president, like, my life has never changed. It's been the same, right? Like, it don't matter who the fuck president is.
I always enjoy when, like, a Democrat president gets elected and all the Republicans freak the fuck out. Like, oh my God, he's going to take my guns.
Right? Like, I got guns. They ain't never been taken from me.
Right.
Dude, I don't fucking know. Like, and then everybody's like, well, if you don't vote, you can't say nothing. Well, if I don't like none of the fucking candidates, I ain't going to go vote for somebody I don't fucking like. That's an irresponsible vote, right?
Yeah.
If I don't know what the fuck I'm voting for, that's irresponsible.
Yeah.
You don't want my vote. It's a bad vote.
Oh, no, they want your vote.
I'm not voting for somebody I don't fucking know.
Look, you might as well just pick random people and vote before they start digging you up and choosing for you.
Yeah. So hey, look, here is the solution though. All right, all these motherfuckers would be like, I can't believe this guy's president, because it doesn't matter. Everybody always complains, right?
Yep.
Let's all get together. If we don't like the candidates, let's all vote for me. I'll do it. I'll do the job. I'll bite the bullet, people.
Ooh.
Oh, I was thinking more along the lines of like death games for presidency.
Oh,
Bro,
that I'm
great.
here for.
Yeah.
The Rock would end up being president.
You put that on pay-per-view, not only will we solve the fucking national debt, but we'll also be able to watch fucking Orange Man and Old Guy go at it.
I'm here for it, dude.
Yeah, I'm definitely here for it.
I fucking watch it.
I'd pay for it.
And I'd really hope they all have like a tax that they name after stupid shit. $1 billion bitch slap. Heavy sniff.
Heavy sniff. Yes, please. All right, my number 3 is short anime seasons when there's only one season. And that's all there's ever going to be. 12 episodes. I mean, even shows in general. You really get into a show and it's only got one fucking season and that's it. Like that shit.
You just screamed at every Firefly fan.
I know. Brown coats unite. Let's do this. At least they tried to make... The movie was good. But
Never
it did
watched
not...
Firefly.
It did not wrap it up for me.
Oh, I've seen it. But it was overhyped for me, so I didn't really... it was okay.
You know, a lot of the stuff that's only one season is... You just have to like read the manga and get over it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to watch it. There's a point. Like, I got a lot of shit I need to get done, and reading... Oh, all right. Anyway.
That's why I don't get upset with these things, because I refuse to read manga, because it would confuse the fuck out of me.
Yeah, you gotta read backwards and shit, upside down.
I just
fucking take your left shoe off, but put a right glove on just to balance shit out. I don't know. It's weird to me.
I'll stick with my American comics.
Yeah, right? Then you flip left to right.
I mean, right to left.
Yeah, right to left. And you
See, you're already on the manga page. Why are you fucking confused?
Yeah.
Stupid.
All right, number 2 on my list of things that were made to annoy me is other people's children. Okay? I don't like kids. I love kids. Don't get me wrong. Kids are the future, blah, 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 all that shit. But I don't like other people's kids. Look, if there's a goddamn pie chart for all the shit I can take, right? So you got all this 99.73% filled by the dumb shit my kids do. All right? So you got that little 0.27% of look what I can do. Like, you got one time of look what I can do before I check the fuck out and I gotta go home. All right? Like, cool, your kids are cool, but I don't need to know what they can do. I don't care. Fuck. Other people's kids, dude, it's atrocious. It really is.
I want to beat up just about every child that I come in contact with.
Right?
You should open a karate school. Parents will pay you to fight their children.
I don't know karate, but I bet I could make it fucking fly.
Yes, let's do it. And then you're allowed to beat up kids.
So then I go from Lord Sensei Shorty.
Lord Sensei, you're right, Lord Sensei.
It's just
I
Lord
like
Senpai.
Huh?
Lord Senpai.
Lord Senpai. Ooh.
All right, number 1 on my
That's
list.
for the ladies.
Number 1 on my list is gluten-free diets. All right, do y'all know what fucking gluten is?
No.
Wheat.
No, it's in wheat. It is a binding.
Michaela
You're right,
said
Michaela.
she'll pay you to fight them.
She would, because she has a little girl, and I don't fucking hit little girls.
All right, so anyways, gluten is a binding protein that occurs naturally. Mm-hmm. All right? And the only reason to be gluten-free, the only goddamn reason, is if you have celiacs, or however the fuck you say it, or you have a gluten allergy. Other than that, being gluten-free don't do shit for you. Nothing. If you come to my house and you say, oh, I'm on a gluten-free diet, you know what you're getting when I serve food? Water. And you ain't even getting ice in that, because guess what? Ice is bound together, and I just want to make sure there ain't no goddamn gluten in that ice, just fucking binding it all together. So you take your gluten-free diets, unless you're celiac disease or gluten fucking...
Free for life.
And you can just take that fucking gluten, and you can shove it right up your goddamn ass, okay? Because gluten-free, it's dumb. This shit's been bothering me for years. I didn't even know what gluten was. Somebody's like, what's gluten? I said, I don't know. So I found out what gluten was. You don't need to cut it out your goddamn diets unless you got a fucking allergic thing. Why are you undoing your belt, homie?
It's not a belt. It's
okay.
It's the pouch that I wear.
I got excited. So, yeah, that's my top 5. God damn, dude. Whew, I need a stiff drink after that. Fuck it, and it better have gluten in it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, if it's beer, it will.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure beer has gluten.
Kayla says, calm down.
I'm trying to calm down.
He's gone on this rant at least 3 times. Like, at least once on air. Like,
about gluten?
Oh, hell yeah.
Have I? Man.
You've had to have, because we were in this room the first time you went ballistic over it.
Dude, have you ever had gluten-free bread?
No.
Dude, it tastes like sand.
I mean, if I have, I didn't notice it.
It is awful. It is the driest. There's no give to it. It's just like, it just crumbles. It's fucking horrible. Go get you some gluten-free bread, and then you will be on team gluten.
I'm not gonna fucking pay for it.
It's expensive as shit, too.
Yeah, because they gotta make bread some other weird-ass way.
Golly. So, yeah, just deal with IBS like us normal people. We love you, Josh. All right, so that's it.
Can you not eat gluten?
That is it for segment 1. I don't know if Josh can eat gluten or not.
That's my question now. Like, can Josh eat gluten without getting fucking IBS?
Oh, you know what gluten causes is ITS, irritable Tyler syndrome. That is what gluten-free causes.
There's a laundry list of things that give you that.
This is true. And we just gave you a few of those.
Like anybody talking about their love of snakes.
Fuck snakes, dude. That shit don't even
people
annoy
talking
me.
about weird small things made of wood.
All right, hit the button.
That's my favorite fucking thing ever.
Thank you for... Do you love podcasts? Of course you do. That's why you're here. But you know what's even better than listening to a podcast? Making your own. That's right, and Anchor makes it simple. I'm your favorite host, MC Tyler Havlin, and I'm telling you, go download the Anchor app today, Anchor FM. They have all the tools you need to get started today. And best part is, it's totally free. They push it out to all the major platforms like Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. So get started today, people. Go download the app, Anchor FM. I'll wait. Do it now. Welcome back. If you've been listening to the last couple episodes, you know this season is all about finding my boy here, Shorty, some love. So we're starting out each second segment with a little thing called Selling Shorty. This week's contestant did not
Jesus Christ.
get their info to me quick enough, so their entry is not going to happen this week. Maybe next week we'll have a bunch of entrants. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that yet, if I'm just going to do one a week or maybe throw in 2 or 3.
Maybe he's going to fucking
You make it sound like I got a huge audience of women, like, waiting. Like, shut the fuck up.
We're going to see how this plays out.
Buddy, there's a list with, there's a line for Shorty, and it's got spider webs all over it, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, the market for Shorty is bigger than you think. All right?
It's a farmer's market during work hours.
I like it. It's not true, but I like it.
It's homegrown, ladies.
The pain in your voice.
It's sincere.
All right.
Speaking of that,
So May is Mental Health Month, and and we couldn't let it pass us by. We had to talk a little bit about mental health this month. It is very important to all of us here at Inner Idiot. We'll discuss some things that we do to combat it, some things we struggle with, give you some statistics. So when this episode drops, it'll be right at the end. So we're just going to close out Mental Health Month with a mental health episode, right?
Okay,
fellas?
yeah. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so who wants to start us out? Myles, what bothers you on a daily basis? How do you combat it? He chuckles.
Everything?
Everything.
That's not true. It's not everything. I'll have my moments, sitting by myself, get lost in my own head, and that's usually the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have a way to express it because you're by yourself. So you're essentially talking to yourself, and you just keep getting further and further. So, you try and keep some hobbies that you can do on your own, as well as hobby with friends that kind of help dissuade yourself from just like stewing in your own terrible thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big help.
Yeah. What about you, Shorty?
It's pretty much the same boat. Like when I'm like, that's why I really do work so much, is because I try to keep myself busy and keep my thoughts on something else. If I'm at work, I can think about work and do work things. Like on my weekends, I always find things to do. Like I always stack myself up. And if somebody fucking Zach, if he texts me and says, hey, I want to go do some random shit, I'm fucking, let's do this now. Come on, hurry up. Especially if I ain't got nothing going on. Like, I don't fucking, I tell people I ain't got time to do shit, which I do, but I always pack it with fucking other things that I can do to keep my mind busy or whatever. And, I reach out all the time asking people if they want to get lunch or something like that.
Almost daily, every day. Hey, guys, want to go grab some breakfast?
Yeah, almost. Seriously. It's really just me, in a void where I'm just I need to fucking communicate to people. I can't fucking sleep. I need to fucking talk to somebody or do whatever. And texting is fine, but I can't stand it, especially when I want to have an actual conversation. You know what I mean? I can have a serious conversation with you guys right here, right now, but over text, for me, it just doesn't do it.
Well, it loses some of the, I don't know, almost like the emotional input and value.
Mm-hmm.
You can't determine how your voice sounds over a text.
Exactly right.
So you can be telling me something terribly devastating, but I might misinterpret the mood behind it.
Sure. And over text, I have a terrible time conveying concern or anything. It's difficult for me to do. The other day, you texted me some heavy stuff, and over text, I have no idea how to respond. But in person, I totally can. So it's something that texting is something I've always struggled with in general. Just I can't text to save my life.
Yeah, I prefer a phone call over text when it's important.
Even when it's not important, dude. I'd rather start a video chat or a phone call or something, or hey, let's go get something to eat so we can bullshit about this. Or let me show up at your front door and fucking talk your ear off or whatever,
Right. All right, so before we continue, here is the phrase that is going to win you some free merch, and the phrase is your story. Okay? So Facebook fan page, put in your story, just make a post. It just says your story. Just those two words, and you win. First one does it. Twitter, respond to the episode with your story. You win. Instagram, shoot us a message that just says your story, and you will win the merch of your choice from our merch shop. But
and if you feel so compelled, tell your story.
Yeah. And that's what the phrase is all about, is we would rather hear your story from you than somebody else tell it after you're gone. Mm-hmm. So that is the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing that we always try to relate, that we are here for you. If you're listening to us, if you don't listen to us, if you don't listen to us, you're not hearing us say this, but we want to hear your story, right? We don't want to hear somebody else tell it. We want to hear it come from your mouth, right. Your words. But man, I tell you what, this show is what I do to keep my mental health there, because I have all these dumb fucking thoughts all the goddamn time. Obviously, like my brain it never stops. It's always going. I always have ideas. I always have doubts. I always have things that irritate me. Like, and this show is my way of getting it out there and making somebody else smile, making somebody else laugh, making somebody else feel something, connecting with people. Like, that's how I keep my mental health where I need it. And one of my favorite podcast hosts out there, Tim McCarthy, like says it best. Let's break the stigma by cracking a smile. I love that saying. It's great. Shout out Tim McCarthy. Dude, he does a lot of cool stuff. I don't know if you guys have checked him out, but he does a 20-minute podcast. It's called 2010 Minutes. I've mentioned it before. He's awesome. Go check it out. But yeah, that's what I do. And I struggle with depression, anxiety, all that shit. Like, it piles on after a while. And if you don't have an outlet, if you don't have somebody to talk to, and that's why you guys are great, because I can always come to you guys no matter what, no judgment. Something's bothering me, I can talk to you guys. I can come on here. I can vent. You know, like, for me, you guys are a big part of what keeps me going every day. So,
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Just reach out to somebody, anybody. Get it out there.
What I find mind-blowing is a lot of people say, you know, and I've heard this a lot, especially from, like, younger people, especially women for some reason. They struggle with finding friends. Like, I'll talk about me, you guys, the D&D group, or, you know, whatever, and they're like, I wish I had friends. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have friends? Like, how can you even assume that? Like, is there somebody you talk to, like, on a semi-regular basis?
I think it has more to do with younger kids. I'm thinking more specifically end of middle school through high school age range.
Sure.
There is a really big divide in how boys and girls are taught to make friends. Boys, it's you join a sports club, a game club, a something. You bond over this one mutual thing, and that is your outlet. So you have a close little group that you kind of stick with until you get to your next, you know, phase of life, and then you'll make another group, you know, like we've done with our D&D stuff.
Sure.
Whereas girls are, they're almost raised more competitively within each other.
that is the exact thought I had.
Because, yes, girls can be friends and they can have their cliques and they can join sports clubs and this, that, and the other. But there's always that underlying, I have to be better than her for XYZ reason. That is just almost unknowingly instilled with the young girls in school.
And see, I don't even think it just stops at young girls in school. I think it's a lot of women in general. Because, I mean, I noticed women our age and even older that do some underlining, you know, weird contest with each other, and they'll talk shit about each other. And, you know, I'll walk up to one girl at work and say, oh, man, I love this other one, blah, 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 you know, this, that, and the other. Oh, well, she's a bitch.
They have to be like that. That's
they don't
how
have to.
I know,
it's
but that's how
been what's instilled
yeah,
in them from
that's
such
what I'm
a young
saying, and
age.
it blows my mind.
And it's not their fault.
No,
You know what
well,
I mean?
it's just such a superficial friendship from young, you know, not even a young age. Like I said, that middle school range. Once you hit that middle school range, that's when it starts to get instilled to you that it's a competition for some reason. So you can be friends superficially, you know.
But what kind of friendship is that?
Not a very good one. And it's not until you really get into like high school, end of high school, college, where some of that fades away and you start to make some genuine connections.
Sure.
Then those are people you're with for the next big segment of your life until you're starting your career, make friends that way, or you join a hobby and make friends that way, to where it's an actual close-knit group of people that you can rely on.
Gotcha.
That's what I see a lot.
See, I always thought it was much easier in school age to make friends, and I've made lasting friends. I say that loosely because, you know, I have a lot of friends from when I was in school that I won't talk to for a long period of time, but I can call them up at any time and we could talk for an hour. We talk for 2 hours. But I find that, and this is one of the things I struggled with as an adult. You guys know me. I'm very outgoing with new people. With new people, like, I don't shut up. Like, I just go. I make them laugh. I do what I can to make people comfortable. But I always get that imposter syndrome with new people because I am so outgoing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's harder for me as an adult to make friends because you're taught when you're young and in school, like, this is how you make friends. You do this, you do that. Like you were talking about, join a sports team. And I was a part of all that. But then as an adult, it's like I go into a job and it's like, all right, I'm here to work. Like, I don't want to be that guy trying to make friends at work when there's nothing wrong with that. But for some reason, there's that thing in my head that says, hey, don't be that guy. You know, out in public, like, hey, don't be that guy. So, like, I struggle with these things. So as a kid in school, really easy to make friends. As an adult, I kind of get that imposter syndrome. And meeting you guys was great because I never felt like that. Mm-hmm. You were very welcoming. Our whole group is very welcoming.
Well, I think that's where part of the divide comes in. Because once it's, you know, it's easy to make friends when you're younger, but again, a lot of it's superficial. You don't have too many deep, meaningful connections. And then when you're looking to establish those, it's usually in a workplace environment or trying to make friends outside of work. And it kind of muddies the water a bit.
And see, like, with our friends group specifically, like, I mean, our group chat, you know, for the D&D group is called Sad Boys Doing Sad Things.
Right.
And, like, it is a joke, but it isn't. Because each and every single one of us struggles with depression or high-functioning anxiety or something. You know, like, I struggle with high-functioning anxiety really bad and depression. So, I mean, it's something that we all struggle with, and it's luckily something we can all, like, not only are we bonding with Dungeons & Dragons and other nerdy stuff, we are bonding over the fact that we are all struggling with some form of mental, you know, decay, really. And we can all reach out and talk to each other or whatever, and, you know, we can hit each other up at any given time and say, hey, man, I just need to talk. You know, Bon's big on calling me up every now and again, and I'll go over to his place and just sit down, and we'll sit in his backyard for hours, and I'll go through a pack of cigarettes, just bullshitting, you know, about whatever's going on. And I've done the same thing to him or whatever. And I've known a lot of people, you know, I don't talk a lot about my struggles because it's not something I'm exceedingly comfortable with doing. Now, I'll talk what led to my struggles, but I won't talk about my struggles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But being able to, like, if Myles has an issue and he talks to me about it, and we're sitting there, you know, not necessarily bouncing off ideas, but making comments toward each other, like, that is therapeutic to me. You know, so I don't need to bring up my struggles because, like, ironically, Myles probably knows my struggles the best out of any of our friends group, but it's something that I don't need to do. Like, Bon has to express it. You know what I'm saying? He has to vent. And that's awesome. Like, I'm glad I'm that ear for him, but it's something that a lot of people don't have.
Right. Agreed.
And somebody was telling me, like, this is not something I go with, but, like, when somebody brings up, like, star signs and shit, like Cancer, Sagittarius, and all that silly shit, like, I was sitting there talking to a girl for like 4 hours, and she's giving me her life story, and I met her 30 minutes ago. And I'm like, do I have a face that just screams, tell me everything about you? She goes, you're a Cancer, aren't you? I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? And apparently that's a fucking therapist.
Was she right? Are you a Cancer?
Yes.
Yeah, it
I was
makes
fucking
sense.
pissed off about it. Shut up, Myles.
Oh, no.
Makes sense.
I'll fucking throw
Hey,
something
you know
at
what, though? As much as I bash on Zodiac shit, because I think it's hogwash, let me just say that if following your Zodiac brings you some kind of solace, however the word is said, if it brings you comfort, I'm here for it. Do what brings you comfort. It doesn't matter what other people think.
No.
You ain't hurting nobody. I personally, I don't subscribe to the theory. But if it brings you comfort and it helps you every day mentally, emotionally, by all means do it. You're not hurting anybody.
Now, I don't necessarily believe in, like, oh, God, the stars have aligned, this is why these things are happening, as much as when you have a group of people who are born into that same, you know, sign, age range, date range, whatever, a lot of times they have very similar personalities, very similar traits. That's kind of what the side of the zodiac shit I track.
Well, see, I don't know. See, like, I can't get behind that just because I know people who are, like, astronomically close to, like, my, like, birthday. And, heck, I've met somebody who was born on the exact day I was born, but, like, a few hours. And they are drastically different people.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's 100% absolute.
Sure.
I'm just saying, well, even in any other studies where where they're like personality types and tracking and stuff, there's always some deviation and some variance in there. But in the grand scheme, it is pretty good at hitting it on the nose.
Yeah, I just don't get it all, man. Like Mercury and Gatorade or fucking
You're
video
stupid.
games
I
or
don't
retro.
deal with any of that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that shit just, it's like...
In retrograde.
Yeah, that. Gator Powerade. I know, I got it wrong again. It's all right. It's on purpose.
Stupid.
No. All right, you guys want to hear some statistics?
Sure, hit me with it.
All right, how
Learn it.
common is mental illness? 970 million people worldwide have a mental health or substance abuse disorder. And this was in 2018.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Though, in 2018, that was right at the beginning of COVID.
It was before COVID. COVID started 2020.
Did it?
Yep.
Holy hell. It's been a long
This
couple of
article's
years.
not that old. It's just...
Well, I just know, like, I don't want to say the numbers are inflated, but I do know the lockdown had a big impact because a lot of people who were little social butterflies suddenly locked
Well, see,
in.
even introverts, like I was reading a study a couple weeks ago about how even introverts were drastically affected because introverts survive by not socializing, but having the choice to socialize. And they can go out and do things. But when that choice was eliminated from them,
Oh, yeah, it made
it
severely worse.
yeah.
But that's why I said I didn't want to say inflated. I just know when everyone's options were cut off like that, a lot of people who needed the social interaction weren't getting it, caused them to kind of digress into that state.
Like, I'm so glad, like, you guys, like, the D&D group and shit, like, did not, like, care.
No.
Like, if you guys gave a fuck, I would have lost my mind.
Well, I think the bigger issue...
Yeah, because that's when we first started hanging out was at the beginning of COVID is when I started playing D&D with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I think the bigger thing is even though COVID wasn't a worry, the world was still kind of carrying on to a certain degree. We still had people who had to go to work.
Sure.
You know, especially once the schools opened back up for like Bon and Gibbles and
Sure.
myself and my own kids. They're back out into the world, so they're already now at risk for it. That bringing them home from school and sheltering them in the house isn't going to change their risk.
Right.
Right.
And if it's a shared group of people who all share a similar risk, there wasn't much point of it.
All right, let's get to the next stat. Anxiety is the most common mental illness in the world, affecting 284 million people.
I'm surprised that number's not higher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is because these are just reported numbers. A lot of people deal with this themselves and they don't talk about it, and that's where suicide comes into play. If you don't talk about it, or that's where just maybe turning to substance abuse comes in.
Well, that's usually what leads to it. You know, is somebody has these underlying problems or whatever, and they don't discuss it and they don't seek help, and they're like, oh, well, this is just normal or whatever, and then they start drinking because that's one thing that calms me down, and then they don't feel calm without that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And,
Well, as I know, this is something else that we had kind of discussed a little bit before about there's always been a stigma about having these issues and reaching out.
Sure.
In the last, I'd say 5 to 6 years, there's really been some breakthroughs on reach out, get help, do these things. So I know a lot of that is being broken down now.
Yeah.
all right, so globally, mental illness affects more females, 11.9%, than males, 9.3%. That number, to me, is really close.
It is close.
And again, this is just reported numbers.
Sure.
So, major depression, anxiety, alcohol use disorders, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and I don't know that word. It's persistent mild depression is what it means. Were identified as leading causes of disability in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, depression leads to Alzheimer's. So, like, if you don't seek help early enough and whatnot, and like your memory will start to fade. Like, it causes people consistently, dude, like black out for hours and hours at a time.
Well, yeah, your brain is basically attacking itself at all time. At some point, it needs a break, and if that break comes with, hey, let's erase something over here, so we can have that break, then yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
I mean, you put a bunch of info into a computer, it's going to slow down, right?
Sure.
You put too much in there. You're basically doing the same thing with your brain. All right. It is estimated mental disorders are attributed to 14.3% of deaths worldwide. 8 million deaths each year. That is way too high. Way too high. I mean, ideally, the number should be 0.
Sure.
But we don't live in a perfect world. And again, this is where it comes in. Tell us your story. We don't want to hear somebody else telling it.
Well, I mean, it goes back to some women being superficial with each other, like they don't have a real connection, or they don't feel as if they have a real connection. So like,
or they don't make those connections until later in life.
Sure. And at that point, the damage is already done. You know what I mean? And then like a lot of men are told to suck it up, buttercup, rub some dirt on it, and be good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like that's something that's always been a struggle with me or whatever. Because I mean, shoot, it was a while ago now, but I was like actively breaking the fuck down, just everywhere. Like if I stopped for more than 2 minutes, I was about to shed tears. And I was outside smoking one time, and I looked at my buddy Matt, and he's like, "What's wrong, Shorty?" And I was like, "I'm depressed," and like I know I could feel the tears running down my face, and he was like, "Oh." And like he looked at me, and he's like, "Okay," and like he walked away because he doesn't, he's never been
confronted with that.
Yeah, he's
and you can't hold that against people.
No, and I love him to death, and like there's nothing like if he's because I've seen him fucked up, like when his mom passed away several years ago, and he was all ate up to hell and back, and like I did what I know what to do, or what comforts me is all I can do is like, do you want a hug? And he sat there and hugged me for a solid fucking 10 minutes, and he cried on my shoulder. That's all I know I can do.
Hey, let's. People need to hug more. All right? It is scientifically proven that physical contact, consensual physical, don't just walk up and hug a motherfucker without them knowing it.
I mean, I'm going to hug you without you knowing it.
Well, I love your hugs. But I love your hugs, Miles. But hugging is scientifically proven to reduce stress and release what is it called? Endorphins. Is that it?
What's the happy chemical? Serotonin.
So let's hug more, people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always doing that. Like, if somebody looks upset, even at work, I don't care who they are. I'm like, you want a hug? And they look at me and tell me, no. I was like, are you sure? I'll give you a hug. I don't mind.
I always hit him with I know you want this.
Yeah.
Hey,
and every now and again, dude, just recently, actually, one girl, she was having a super bad day at work, and I was like, do you want a hug? She's like, no, fuck you. And I was like, oh, come on, you want a hug. And she just kind of looked at me funny, and then I go back to leaning against the wall and smoking, and like about an hour later, she comes walking by, she goes, hey, Shorty. I was like, yeah. She goes, can I have that hug? I was like, abso-fucking-lutely. And I sat there and held her for a minute, and like, she even tried to back away. I was like, no, let it out. It's okay. Shorty's here. Shorty loves you.
Yeah. It ain't got to be nothing more than a hug, people. If you see me out walking the streets and you need a hug, you just let me know.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a hug. All right, let me hit you with a few more statistics, and then we can wrap it up soon.
Sure.
More than a quarter, 26.3% of adults aged 18 to 25 years old have dealt with mental illness.
Absolutely.
Nearly 8% of adults aged 18 to 25 years old have had serious mental illness. Anxiety disorders affect 40 million adults in the U.S., 18% of the population. That's just reported.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how long I dealt with this shit and didn't tell anybody. You know what I mean? And I'm not that like I'm nothing special. I'm just one person. So if I can go without talking about it, like I know there's millions of other people out there that can go without talking about it and
Sure.
just deal with it. Making them the most common mental illness. The rate of individuals aged 18 to 25 years old that reported symptoms consistent with major depression increased 63%.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
63%. Now, some people say, oh, well, that's alarming. I say, oh, well, that's good. Like,
Yeah,
let's talk about it. Let's get it out there. That's the whole point.
Sure.
Talk about it. Find a way to not deal with it, but to find a way that's medicinal to you in a healthy way to deal with it.
And even people who have like had major like trauma events in their life and like they are succeeding and whatnot currently, like talking about what you went through to others that you suspect, like they don't say anything, but you think they might be going through it. Talking to them about what you went through and how you overcome it is helpful. Like, not blatantly saying, like, this is what you should do, but, like, hey, like, this was something I went through, and this is how I coped with it. Like, that can be helpful. Like, obviously, you know, like, I play up therapy. Go fucking talk to a therapist. Like, they're fucking, like, for years I hated them because they were just fucking, like, they annoyed the shit out of me. But you know, here in the last 2 or 3 years, like they've actually started to really, really help. But it's, you know, when I tell people my story and like what I went through and everything like that, like some people really like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, so like I get it. Like, please talk to me, like if you need it. And that also helps too. Like people will open up to you if they know like
You're going through the struggle.
it's something that you struggle with as well. Because I'll gladly fucking hug you and cry on your shoulder, too. Like, we can fucking cry on each other. I don't give a shit.
Very therapeutic.
Yeah.
No, so do what works for you. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't like talking about my struggles a lot because that's not what helps me. What helps me is making people laugh.
Sure.
And every once in a while, you know, I'll need to get it out there like, hey, I'm just struggling right now.
Yeah.
But having good friends and knowing that I can talk to them.
Right.
And being able to make people laugh, that is my medicine. Mm-hmm. It's just feel like I'm being heard, really.
Sure.
It doesn't even always have to make somebody laugh, but feeling like I matter is a big, important thing for me. Did you just yawn when I'm talking? Thanks, buddy. I'm just messing with you.
We worked last night.
I know. I'm messing with you.
How dare I?
How dare you?
How dare you be tired
I feel
after
like I
12
matter,
hours?
and you're just over here. Oh.
No, you do matter. But I've got the sleepies.
I know. I matter enough for you to be missing sleep.
Right. That's why we're sitting
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
I know. I'm kidding.
Trust me, if the sleepies were more important, I had to go right back to the couch where I was before.
I know. I love you for it.
Got in here, it was all nice and quiet. I took a nap.
He was out when I got here.
I believe it.
All right. You guys got anything else?
Reach out if you need someone to talk to.
Yeah, if anybody, any listener or whatever needs to talk or whatever, just holler at one of us. You know, like if you're close by to, you know, Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, hit one of us up. One of us will be more than happy to come and just sit with you and get a cup of coffee or tea or, you know, a hot meal or whatever, or a cold salad, I guess.
You can get cold cut sandwiches.
Cold cut sandwiches. There you go.
I love me a sub.
I love a sub. I call them hoagies, but yeah.
All of them? I thought a hoagie had to be like a certain type.
No.
No?
In Philly, in Philadelphia, where my dad and stuff's from, like a hoagie is just what you guys call subs.
Huh.
So like when mom and dad moved down here years ago and they ordered hoagies, they just said they wanted a regular, you know, like give me a regular hoagie with ham and cheese. They're like, all right, cool. And they got a pizza hoagie with ham and cheese on it, and mom and dad were very upset.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got.
So in the meantime,
In the betweens time.
In the words of Tim McCarthy, break the stigma, crack a smile. Cue the music. We out.